What is up, people? It's your boy Seth Menon. This is Seth Menon's Truth. So at first I want to thank everybody for the 300 subscribers. You guys rock. Y'all are awesome. So now I was looking through my comments and I seen this one comment. I will put a picture of it somewhere on the screen. And it basically asked what happened with my dad. And this video is basically just a full explanation because, you know, in my videos I've put little pieces here and there about what happened to my dad, but I never gave a full story. So this is going to be that full story. And so basically on March 10th, me and my dad at the time were on no talking terms. We got into an argument a few weeks back before this date. And so at the time we weren't really talking with each other. And he had lived in Lake Charles. And his girlfriend moved him there. I told him it wouldn't be a smart idea not to move there. My mom told him to not be there. And my dad is one of the most hard-headed people you would ever meet. He did it his way, whether people like his way or not. And so he moved down there with the woman. This lady sat there with my dad, lived in the same house with this man for months. I got to see firsthand on how their relationship was. And there was a lot of problems with her, mostly. Like, I still remember the day she got into a wreck and her car was totaled. My dad took her, and I was there during this entire process. He took her to a used car dealer. And my dad, at this time, he was trying to get his life together. He was getting ready to settle down. He was trying his best to get out of the streets the most he could and lean more towards being a positive father figure for his children. This is right after I graduated, and this one time we went after the wreck and she stole her car. He went and got her a brand new car. Well, not a brand new one. It was a used car, but it worked like it was brand new. This was a really good car. And it was actually a muscle car. And so, yeah, if I remember correctly, I believe it was a Dodge. And it was a white one too. And you know, he bought this for her out of pocket. Because my dad didn't use cards. And he always paid for stuff out of pocket. So he just took all the money out of his pocket and bought the car for her. And let me let y'all know this. Just because it was a used car, it was not cheap. It was pretty expensive. And so they moved. That was when they lived in Houston. So they moved to Lake Charles. And this one day, they get into an argument. And she calls the cops on him. Says that he isn't supposed to be here. That she had told him to leave once. And that he didn't live there. Well, my dad, he wasn't at the time supposed to leave the state of Texas. But he moved and risked his freedom for this woman. Moved with her to Lake Charles, risking his freedom, knowing that if he got caught down there, that he was going back to jail because he was paroled here in Jasper. And, well, they ask him his name, he gives an alias name, and she tells the cops physically, oh no, that's not his name, his real name is this, check that. And that's when they find out his real name, find out that he's not supposed to be there, so he ended up getting locked back up for a couple weeks. And so after that, he gets out of jail, goes back to her. But what he didn't know was she was cheating on him from the time they moved to Lake Charles to the time he died. And the way he died, we don't know exactly what happened. Because I wasn't living with them at the time. I was back here in my hometown. I was living with my mom, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend, my at that time girlfriend, and me and her had just got into a little argument, and my aunt called me, and she told me, Seth, I know you don't like your dad right now. As soon as I heard that, I knew something was wrong, and I immediately broke down. She didn't say anything else. I just immediately broke down because I knew something bad was going to happen after that. And she told me that, yes, the day before, real late at night, this woman shot and killed him. Well, he wasn't dead when she shot him, but she shot him, and what it did is it went into his neck, pierced a major artery, and then the bullet got lodged in his spine. And let me say the one thing about my dad. My dad, he was a real deal gang member. Like my dad was. He was a gang member. He was in the streets a lot. He was a real deal thug. He was the real thug, not a stereotypical one. So he would have known if something was going on. He wouldn't have went somewhere that would have got him killed. My dad was 39. His birthday was literally 2 months away from him turning 40. And this woman decides to take his life. And I don't know why she did it, but one thing I do know is she told my mom. She told my mom she was going to kill him. She told my mom specifically that she was going to kill him whenever I wasn't in the room, and that she was going to shoot him. My mom told me that after this woman left, after she told her, my mom told me this. I didn't pay no mind to it because at the time they were arguing, so I thought it was something she had said out of anger. Well, no, she actually meant it. And she also said that she had been cheating on my dad from everybody in between, from Lake Charles to Dallas to Houston and back. Just the full triangle. This woman is an evil, maniacal, twisted woman. She conned my dad out of all the money she could and then killed him whenever he found out that she was cheating on him. And then one thing that she did tell him that is that she cheated on him with one of his homeboys, one of his real good friends. And this dude, my dad actually made music with, in which I'm going to do a reaction video to one of my dad's songs. And like my dad, he wasn't the best one, but he was there. He may not have been there every time I needed him, but he was there. Even though he wasn't also really in my life, he was still a part of my life. He still knew stuff that I didn't tell him, that wasn't really posted on social media. When I graduated and I spent some time with him, he told me, even though I wasn't there with you in your life, I still had eyes checking on you for me. Three minutes, me and my dad were sitting in a car that we had planned to fix back up for me whenever I got my license. After 3 minutes of us actually talking, not really arguing, just sitting down and having a whole conversation, he knew my entire personality after that whole conversation. We didn't talk about anything about how I learned, and he immediately was like, you know what I've already known from you from this entire conversation? You learn just like me. And when we were learning, whenever he would teach me stuff and tell me stuff, he would explain it in his own way. And I understood it. I knew what he was talking about. And he was, like I said, he wasn't the best dad, but when he was there, I knew I could talk to him. And he could tell I was, at the time, in my own little shell. I had just graduated high school. Throughout my entire years of schooling, I put myself in this own little protective shell. And after spending time with him, that's when I first started coming out of the shell and actually started doing stuff and being more open, just seeing the better parts of life. But that's the story, and he died 11 o'clock on March 10th. After she actually shot him, though, they revived him, and then he went back down. After they revived him for a few minutes, and then he went back down completely. When I went to the hospital, as soon as I got on the floor and went to the door, I didn't even go in the room. Before I could even go in the room, I dropped on the ground in tears because I couldn't believe that this was actually happening. That my dad was sitting there in that hospital bed, and we didn't think he was gonna make it, and he didn't. All of us were going there to tell him our goodbyes before they pulled the plug on him. And I just remember seeing him in the hospital bed. I couldn't say anything. My mind was blank. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what was reality and what was fake. To this day, I still don't believe it. I still, in my heart somewhere, believes that he is somewhere in Houston. But with her getting charged, by the end of the entire thing, the police force of Lake Charles had enough evidence to charge her with second-degree murder. She was about to get second-degree murder. But when the toxicology reports came back, the district attorney of Lake Charles dismissed the entire case, and this woman got away scot-free with murder just because his toxicology reports came back that he had drugs in his system. And another thing, my dad had a rap sheet that was basically big enough to be a Harry Potter book. Like, yes, my dad wasn't really always on the wrong side of the law, but he didn't deserve to have his case dismissed like it was. He didn't deserve to have his murderer get away with this and be able to live a normal life after she took one away from me and my two brothers. And one of my brothers looked at me and he said, "When is Daddy gonna wake up?" We were at his funeral whenever he asked me that, and he was asking when our dad was gonna wake up and get out of the casket, and it was just, this entire thing has just been too much for me. Like, so that's why in my videos I'm always mentioning my dad, because I would always talk about how I wanted to do this, and I wanted to be a YouTuber, an actor, I want to do all these things, and I still do, and I'm still working towards it, which is what this channel is about. I have 2 other channels that I'm slowly building up. I have three posted on one, and one getting ready to post on the other. No, I haven't posted. It's posted. I will leave a link to both channels down below, and I've honestly been considering turning this from a non-profit channel to a profit channel. That way I can give you guys more content, better content. I can work primarily on the channels to help them improve and make them better. Because me and my dad, we would always talk about how whenever I made it and I became this big success, that me and him were going to be living in this giant mansion with all of these old school cars in the back for us to just sit there and fix up. And he wanted me to be better than what he was. He wanted me to take the route that he did. And which is what I'm working towards and trying my best to. But yeah, if people can get this video out there, just to get it out there, get my dad's story out there, because I don't believe that he got a proper investigation. Because they didn't ask me anything about their relationship or anything like that. they didn't get his side, and they can't get his side from him specifically because now he's gone. And now if I want to go see my dad, I have to go look at a grave. And it's really, really mentally struggling with me every day when I wake up. The first thing I do is check my phone, just hoping that I get a text message from him, that I'll wake up from this eternal nightmare, just get a text message from him saying, hey, I'm gonna come pick you up, let's go work on this car. Or, hey, I'm got your brothers, let's go do something like that. I've just been praying that one day I get one of them text messages from him again, or even just him pulling up and just walking right into the house and saying, hey, Powder, let's go. Because Powder is what my dad called me. Most of the people that he hung out with, know everybody that knew him on that side. Only a very small few don't call me Powder. The rest of them do. It's a family nickname for me that only his side really calls me, or anybody that knows me through him, that's what they call me. Or they'll call me Little A1, which really that when they don't really call me that anymore, since I have 2 younger brothers and I'm 20. So most of them really just call me Powder or Seth. But yeah, that's the story of my dad. That's why I mention him so much in my videos, just in case you guys are wondering. And just thank you guys for enjoying my content. You guys are the reason why I do this. So that's basically it for the video. And this is Seth Minute Truth signing out. See y'all next time. Peace.